Oh, hang on. I've lost myself.
I can see you.
I can't see anybody because I've lost myself. Right, I think we're there. Wow, right. Sorry about that, people. Folks, friends, should I say. Right, welcome to our Saturday afternoon BoHo Bonanza. And so I'm going to call it. Right, it's a BoHo Bonanza. And if you watch during the week on Tuesday, you'll have an idea of the flavour of what we're doing. Which Tuesday was quite a bit of auditioning and asking you for help, what you thought looked best. But for those of you who didn't see Tuesdays, we have taken a file folder, an ordinary manila file folder, which I haven't got any of anymore because I've got loads. Lynn Whitman sent me 100, so I've got loads. But like this, you know what I mean? Just this quite thin card that's a file folder, and I have decided, because I've got 100 of them, that it was time to do something with them. You know, they look really useful, but what am I going to do? So what I decided to do was to create this little album thingy, journal, whatever. So this is the front, and I quite like this actually now. I've sort of grown into it. It's very tealy, turquoisey, glittery, eclectic boho, to be honest. It's just a little pocket there, which says envelope, I think, with a little journaling card in there. And Helen Adams, very timely, sent me some coloured bulb clips, so I've used a turquoise one on there and a little butterfly onto that lace. We've got different sort of toppers, if you like, some lace in the background, some crystal organza. Man, it is all happening. And you can see just there, that's the bit of the file folder. And I've kept that on, although it serves actually no purpose with this journal thing. It just looks nice. It tells us that it was actually a journal. Then on Tuesday, we did the... wow, that's glaring. I seem to remember I had that problem on Tuesday as well. This is gold and it's really glary. There you can see better probably what I've used to create the spine.
It's not glary on screen.
It's not glary on screen. No. It's ultra glary in real life. If I get it just in the right light, you'll see just how bright that is. And so I used a little envelope here, put some backing on it, oh, that over there. Made a little journaling card to fit in there. Used one of Mabel's butterflies and put some gems on it, which I'm told she's all right about. I didn't know whether Mabel would approve of that, but apparently she's fine with it, so that's good. Some lace down there and some teal lace there over some paper, and each corner had some teal coloured paper with some cosmic shimmer on it, and then this is organza down here with more cosmic shimmer and just a topper creation there. So as you've seen, that flips back. That's the little arrow that holds everything, holds this in place, and this back one's got a journaling card in too. So there we go, that flips around, holds that in place. So you're up to date really, I think, with what I've done. So when we open it up, this is what we've got. Is all of that on camera? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. What I've done is I have put two pockets, as you can see, and I've made them gusseted. There's a little 1/8 of an inch gusset down there, which gives me the option then of putting something quite thick into there. So I've taken up that option and I've put this in, and we're gonna make today the other one for the other side. And it's this trifold tag, and it's ridiculously blingy. I mean, I'm not sure if you're getting half of this bling, but it's blingy, and also kind of in a tasteful way. Is there such a thing as being tastefully blingy? I don't know, but I think it's quite sort of tasteful. So let's have a look at the front page. Got these beautiful flower die cuts. Thank you, Shaz. Shaz Conabeer, thank you. She sent me lots of things this week and I'm so grateful to all of them. Thank you. And I've just put one of our little toppers that we've got on top of there. And then I cut the same set out again, but with gold shiny card. So I ended up with 3 leaves out of the set. So I put 2 up here and 1 here. This is a separate piece of paper that I've just used dies on. And I don't know if you can, where am I going here? That way. If you can see, oh, maybe you can't, I don't think you can. There's actually a mandala pattern in gold over there. Oh yeah, there you can. You can see it there now. So it's got, you know, there's quite a lot of work on there. It's got this, I don't know what that is. It's a trim of some sort with this other braid on top. I've got eyelash braid around here. And then moving on to the second one. This is a pocket with some dyed paper and cosmic shimmer. And it's got this tag in. Now, there's a video somewhere online of me making all these tags. I made a whole sheet of them and I showed you how to do it from start to finish. And I've just put another flower there, this time the opposite way around, so I've got the leaves in the pink shiny bit, but the whole tag is really shiny. There we go. Look at that. That's shiny. And the pockets we'll make. Then this is a journaling card. It's a shaker card actually. It's got lots of little sequins in it. And it's that corresponding paper. And it's a tummy tuck that I've just inked up and I've stuck one of my butterfly dies on that I have used embossing powder on and loads of stuff just to get that. So this is what we're going to be making today and it'll go in there. I just want to draw your attention to these 2 things here, mandala type things. Now they came in a pack, a mixed pack. Some are black and white and some are gold and white, and you get 7 of these sort of packs, all different. Some are flowers, all sorts of things, but I just discovered these actually not long ago, and they're washi tape stickers. So when you remove them from the back, which is no mean feat, they're pretty clear. I've chosen to put them onto a light background because they do show up just a little bit. But if you're really pernickety, you could cut that washi border off, fussy cut it out. I think they look fine, and I've put them onto there, and I've just inked the centre and inked around the centre there in a teal colour to just coordinate with the rest of it. But you know, there's loads, and this butterfly here, I thought, so put that onto some pre-inked paper. And then I fussy cut around it. Then I inked the edges with teal, and then I went from his body outwards with a little bit of teal ink. So he's another really shiny fellow. I'll just pop these away and then I can give you an idea of just how, see how shiny they are. Bling City here today, people. Bling City. And the only other thing that I've done that you didn't see was I've actually put a gusset in each end of this, put some paper down there, put a gusset in, because I intend to put either an envelope or a journal or something in there, just to add more, to make it into a journal really, because we haven't got that much space. I mean, on the back of this, there is plenty of space. But you know, if you're sort of saying something's a journal, then really it wants to be a journal. So I'm going to make something to go into there, and that's probably tomorrow's live. The other thing is that before I actually glued this up, on the inside of this seam fold, whatever, I stuck some Tyvek down, because I imagine that this is going to be open and closed a fair bit, and the file folder's not that thick. The paper doesn't go right to the centre, so it is just a file folder thickness. So I put some Tyvek, I stuck some Tyvek down there just to support it and lend it some strength. Right, let's pop that away for the time being whilst we concentrate on making another one of these. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of A3 paper, and I have sprayed it with all sorts of distress inks and a lovely Dilutions turquoise, bright turquoise it's called. Thank you, Shaz. Just lovely. And this is distress brass, I think it's called. So it's quite shiny, but not, not terribly in your face compared to the other stuff. It's pretty in your face. So what we need to do to make this is the size of the tag, 5 inches wide, 7.5 inches tall. So that's it there. And just put it on your paper and draw around it 3 times. Now, if you haven't got A3 paper, you could either make just a double tag, because you'd probably get that out of, these dimensions are what I've used. You could always make it narrower. Or you could just put a bit of masking tape and connect 2 of these together, all the way along, because you're gonna put paper on them and stuff anyway, so it'll be fine. Anyway, that's what I've done. So I now need to cut that out.
Tabloid or ledger in the US.
Yeah, that's tabloid or ledger, isn't it? A3, yeah. It's twice the size of our regular paper. Our regular paper here is A4, and I believe in the States yours is 8 by 11. So, work it out from there, because I can't, because my maths is horrible. So, how about a roll call?
A roll call. Ham and cheese. There's a good one.
That's a good roll, yeah.
Tuna and sweet corn.
Yeah. Not so keen.
Hilda.
Hiya, Hilda.
Ros.
Hello, Ros.
Nathania.
Hiya, Nathania. Glad you
Miranda.
could join us. Hello, Miranda.
Deborah.
Hello, Deborah.
Charisse.
Hello, Charisse.
Shaz.
Hi, Shaz.
Who's in bed with a poorly tooth.
Oh, no.
Lynn.
Hello, Lynn. Lynn Whitman.
Yep.
Hello, Lynn.
Leslie M.
Hi, Leslie. Happy birthday for yesterday.
Mabel.
Hello, Mabel.
Joe Ray.
Hello, Joe Ray.
Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
Ellen Adams.
Hi, Helen.
She Marie.
Hi, She Marie.
Donna.
Hello, Donna.
Cindy Phillips.
Hello, Cindy. Oh, Cindy, I got my dye this morning. It's to die for. Thank you so much.
Denise.
Bernice, hello.
Carol Vaughan.
Hello, Carol. Carol, I'll just stop you there. Carol has provided the Red Cross parcel for this week. I can't thank you enough, Carol. Just before I came on air, I had 2 of your Welsh cakes. They are just so delicious. I had loads last night as well, and I know I shouldn't, but I did. And I absolutely loved them. They're divine. And you also sent so many lovely things, really lovely, in a beautiful book. So I'm really grateful to you, Carol, as is Mr. F.
Come back to that.
Oh,
We'll go through the list names first.
he's going to do a finish off the roll call.
Sammy Jones.
Sammy, hello.
Sweet Pea Papers Terry.
Hello, Terry.
Jean.
Hello, Jean.
Possibly.
That's it? Is that it?
Uh,
There must be people lurking who aren't joining live chat.
possibly. But anyways, heads up.
Okay.
Today's episode of Snacking Live with Mr. F is brought to you courtesy of Carol Vaughan and Cadbury's. And read that, dark milk. Both rich and creamy. We live in exciting times, people. Dark and milk in one bar. It just doesn't get any better. Thank you, Carol.
Oh, dearie. Honestly, what is he like? He needs... Anyway, thank you, Carol. It's quite right. So he's delighted with that, I can tell you. I don't know quite what's going on here. Is this right or wrong? So I'm trying to fold my thing on my folds, is what I'm trying to do. And it looks like it's just not completely accurate. Which is no good, is it? Anyway, we'll make it accurate. It'll be fine. Right, so I think that's that there. So I'm just going to use my bone folder and squash them in. Right. I don't even remember cutting that off. Let's be honest. Right, so I think we're all right. That's just, this bottom bit's just sticking out ever so slightly, but I just want to check I'm folding this the right way. So, yeah, it goes that way, doesn't it? Yeah. Excellent. So I'm just going to trim up here. I don't know quite why that is marginally too wide, but I don't want it marginally too wide. So I'm going to chop it off. So it's only about, I don't know, a mil or something, but it's enough to put me off. Right, there we go. So get rid of that. Right, so I have got a template that I use for cutting the corners off my tags. This, as you can see, is an old PayPal access card, but any card will do.
Special welcome to Jania Rosiaro.
Oh, Jania. Yeah.
It's the first time joining us on a live.
Hi, Jania. Well, I really hope you enjoy it. I hope it lives up to the hype. Just a bit of added pressure there pour moi. Right, as I was saying, I have a template and I advise all of you, is it Nancy or Jean? I can never remember, that took this to the nth degree and made the templates to die for, frankly. I think it was Nancy, you know, but it might have been Jean. So once you've got your, I also have another bit of plastic that's got shallower ones for smaller tags. But really, once you've got it, just pop it down like so. Make sure you're up to the edge and up to the top. Chop it off. You all know how to do this. And then fold it over, put it on the other side and chop that side off. It saves all that kerfuffle that I can't be doing with when you cut an edge off and you twist it over and you put it there and all. That is not accurate. It never works out too accurate. Whereas if you've got a template like this that you can keep forever and a day, each side is slightly different actually. So I would recommend making a template.
And Mike, it gives you a perfect excuse to cut up credit cards.
It's Mike Others.
I don't know.
Flo is. Hi, Flo. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jan. I don't know if I said hello to Candace. I may have done, but I may not have done. Right, okay, so what we need to do now is cover the back of this with paper, coffee stained paper, just to give it a bit of support. So I'm going to put my... I'm just going to use... I've forgotten entirely what I was talking about there. I'm just going to use this stuff, glue stick. Hello. And I'm just going to put it on the back there. It's not really going to ever take much pressure, this. If you're not comfortable with just using glue stick, use whatever glue you think you need to use. But I think this is probably fine. If you want to add extra strength to it or whatever, you can always sew around it. Today, I'm not sewing. But Kerry and people like that have just got sewing machines, it would be a really good thing to sew around.
Good practice.
Good practice, yeah, lots of corners to turn.
It was Nancy.
It was Nancy, was it?
With the fancy tags. Fancy Nancy.
Fancy Nancy. Fancy Nancy. I've been most grateful to Nancy this week because she sent me some dimensional tape and squares and stuff. Excuse me, and I've been using them. Well, you'll see they come into play with this. So I think that's fine. I think that's going to be glued enough. But as I say, if you want to sew around, this is a perfect candidate for that. So let's pop this onto here. Squish it down. mean, if you don't feel inclined, or you don't own, or you haven't got, or whatever, to make your own backing paper like this, just use, you know, printed digital paper, you know, that you get from Etsy. Just having a look to see if I did actually sew around. Oh, I did, look. I did sew around that. Oh, and I told Mr. F there'd be no sewing today. Sorry, Mr. F. I was just thinking, I can't believe I left this like this. Seems a bit unlikely for me.
I can't believe I believed you.
So I'm just going to cut it around there, obviously. I know, I really thought there was no sewing today.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Sorry. Sorry. It was just when I was doing it, I thought, I really can't believe I didn't sew this. It looks such a candidate for sewing. So I could have done this before you joined me, but I think it's important that you see where it comes from right from the beginning, and then you know what to do yourselves. I don't know if you're enjoying this boho style, folks. It's very different from what I normally do. And Shabby Chic is calling loud. I can tell you, it really is. Although I must say, when I started this boho, I was a bit, I don't know if I like it. I don't even know if I can do it. It's not the first boho thing I've done, but I always go through that at the beginning. Real uncertainty, I don't know what I'm doing, and etc, etc. But as you sort of get into it, you warm to it, or I warm to it at any rate. And then it's a case of more is more then. It's kind of boho in my way, because a lot of people that do boho, it's what I would call untidy, and that probably is more correct really for boho. I'm doing a sort of sanitized version here, but it's the best I can do. I can't let go completely.
Terry say they appreciate seeing all the steps.
Oh, that's good, thank you.
Which is important, I think, if you're new to it.
Right, so let's just fold those creases in again. Let's just make sure I've got this stuck down. And let's put those creases in again. So trying not to crease up the coffee stained paper. Let's just pop these in, they'll help us when we're sewing. That's right there. So let's just I hate when it does this. There's not enough glue on it. It doesn't. That's fine. And then, well, it doesn't really matter which way you fold it, to be honest. You know, it does ultimately, but at the moment it doesn't matter. Does that look right? Yeah, I think so. So just put a soft crease in there. Oh, we're all right. We're all right with this one. Right, okay. Now what I'm going to do is ink around it, and by inking around it, it'll give me some good guidelines for when I'm sewing. Because you get it under the machine and you can't see where you're going. So I'm just using this peacock feathers distress ink. When I watch quite a lot of videos, and I do watch quite a lot of videos, trust me, so many people, when they come to the inking part, speed it up, cut it out, edit it, and when they come back they say, oh well, I've cut that out for you because I've had so many complaints in the comments about you don't need to see me inking things. And so with that in mind, I'm really sorry if it drives you crazy, me inking things, but it's an integral part of it. So, and it probably gives you time if it's early morning, let's face it, to go and get yourself a cup of coffee, because it's difficult facing the day without a cup of coffee, isn't it?
Is that a hint?
No, it wasn't actually. I was just saying that on a big thing like this, it's probably a good time to go and get a coffee. So do down the seams, or the folds, should I say, because that's where we need to see when we're sewing. And then, sorry guys, but around the inside. Now, just like we normally do with all projects, you can stencil in here or stamp if you want to on this quite large expanse of cream coffee stained paper. I would advise, if you're going to do it at this stage before we start adding things to it, etc., and it starts to get lumpy, because then it begins to get difficult to get a good stamp. Let's fold that up and go along there a little bit. As I say, I haven't, you've seen me do it, and I haven't added Tyvek to these fold lines. You can if you want to, if you think it's going to be folded in and out quite a lot. But I think we're all right with that. Right, off to the sewing machine I go. I will be a little while because I'm going all around all three of them. So, see if my chair wants to move. Come on. Right, so I want a straight stitch and I want it over my needle, over to the right. Okay, that's it pretty set up, I think. So we'll start there. So I'm using the edge of my presser foot against the edge, you know, it's running parallel on top of the edge of my paper, and I've moved the needle across. So I've still got the edge of my foot as a good guide. Now when I come to the corner here, I'll drop my needle down into it, swing it around, and then I've got the inked edge that I put down to run the edge of my foot against. So it'll be the same distance in. So I'm always using the edge of my foot as my guide and moving the needle, not the foot. So when you come to the top, same thing, just one more stitch there required, and then swivel it with the needle in. Not sure if I'm blocking the camera here, I'm sorry if I am. And then up to the top, one more stitch probably, then using again not sure what that was.
No idea.
One more stitch, I think. So there we have one panel completely done, stitched around. And you might say no fuss, no muss. In fact, that's what I'll say. Just take your time. I take my time, and I think it gives my machine much more of a chance of giving me a good stitch and me being accurate. Let's tie it off at the end there. So there we are, that's one panel done. Cut your threads and start on your next one. And if you keep doing things like this, honestly, you'll be amazed how quickly you get better. Just put reverse on for some reason. Even if you just take blank pieces of paper to start with, but take more than one sheet if you can't. It's easier on on 2 sheets probably. You know, as time goes on, you'll be able to manage 1 sheet. It's not difficult, but one thin sheet sometimes can be a little bit wayward and a little bit hard to hang on to. So put 2 sheets together and try that for all your practices. You know, if you want to practice out your fancy stitches, see what they look like, what they do if you make them longer or wider or whatever, and just keep practicing, and you'll soon, very soon, get the hang of it. It's important to have a sharp needle, or at least change your needle frequently, because paper does blunt needles not as quickly as you'd think actually, but if your machine starts skipping stitches, etc, etc, always try to, first thing is change your needle, and the second thing is rethread your machine. It's amazing how many times the tension's gone wrong for some reason that we just simply don't know. Machines are weird things, but if your thread snaps or anything like that, don't just rethread your needle, thread the whole machine, and you'll get so as you can thread it in your sleep, to be honest, so it won't be a big job. Something about thread snapping it seems to throw the tension off in the machine, so it's always worth threading it again right from the base. And I always hang on to my threads when I start to sew, because they have the amazing ability to get caught up in stitches, and then they look really untidy on the back. You can go a little bit faster than this if you want, but my pedal's stuck on something. I'm going to have to move it because it's just slowing down too much.
Denise is great for what you said about using the foot as a guide.
Yeah, it's the best guide you've got.
And the other problem people seem to have is coordinating the foot pressure. They tend to either be going really slow or 100 miles an hour.
Practice. It's just practice. What I'm doing now is probably a really optimum speed, I would have thought. You don't want to be going any faster than that, because it just brings problems. Any problems that you might have will happen much faster if you're going faster, and it always seems to want to snap the thread and skip stitches and whatever if you go faster. So to give your machine the best chance, go about this speed. You can see what's coming up, what you need to be doing, where to stop, where to turn, etc. I'm just going to take that back a stitch because I've just... There we go. But the pressure on the foot really is practice. It's a bit like when you, for those of you that drive, when you started to drive a car, you were terrified to put your foot down, but you couldn't get out of first if you didn't. So eventually you learn an optimum position for your foot. But it is practice, and once again, either get sheets of paper and just go up and down them, or an old sheet or something like that, and just keep practicing. And I know that's really miserable when people say that to you because you want an immediate answer, but there kind of isn't one.
Some of the more modern machines have a speed limiter on there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they definitely do.
So you can't get too carried away.
Yeah. The other thing that some modern machines have is you don't even need a foot at all. It's got a button, and you press the button, and it's... And we got a machine like that. You press the button and it goes by itself. Is that Husqvarna, like the newish Husqvarna? Anyway,
so, yeah.
it's got a button on the front, and you press it and it goes. And it has a speed limiter, so you can tell it to go fast or go slow. I've never got the hang of it. I can't relinquish control, which will come as no surprise to you. Right, so the other thing that happens is, with virtually every machine, the front side is really pretty and the back side is not so pretty. Because if you think about it, there's your paper, and here's your needle coming like that, and it's punching down, so it's punching the paper through like a hole. So what we do is just take our bone folder and squash it back through. It will never be as pretty, but it's prettier if you do this. Squash it down. It just looks a little bit better, I think. I don't know if you can see that, but it does. It really does look better.
Terry says she has trouble reversing to sew in the end, so it doesn't come undone.
Are you sure that your machine doesn't have a tie-off facility? And apart from that, don't worry about it. Just press reverse or pull reverse, whatever it is, and just go back a couple of stitches, that's all, and then forward one, and it'll be tied off.
And Jean uses the machine manual as practice, because you get it in all the foreign languages.
Ah, yeah.
She uses the foreign language pages to practice on.
Absolutely perfect. Right, how do we fold this thing up then? So, this, there, then that, then that. Right, that's it. So, excellent. Now, a lot of it, all of it, I would say probably, is practice. People like Mabel, myself, Florence, we do a lot of, well, I don't now, but I have done an enormous amount of sewing, and I know Florence does, and I know Mabel does, and it's just practice. And when you get it, when you get that right speed or that right whatever, you'll think, oh, how did I not? What was wrong with me? Why couldn't I see that before? Right, so let's make a start then. So on this one, we've got this magenta pinky sort of trim, but for this side, I'm going to use this one. Largely, it's the only other colour that I've got, this trim in, but I kind of like it also, so I'm happy to do that. So it just is going to get stuck on, and I'm going to double-side it. It's funny stuff. It's really weird stuff. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape. I'm nearly at the end.
Just that's where the mandala's going. Which page that one's?
It goes onto here. The mandala goes onto there, onto a separate piece that gets stuck down.
Oh, it's a separate piece.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. I just thought if it was going on there, it'd be better before the trim.
Yeah, no, it's a separate malarkey. I think we've come to the end of this, almost. So I'm just putting my double-sided, I'm just going to put it slightly over the edge so I can get a good square end on it. And really close to the side. There we are. This is the end of my double-sided. Look, it's conked out. You've been good, old friend. I've loved you. Goodbye. You can light the fire tomorrow. Thank you. So I'll just start on this one. There's a little one here. So you don't want to overlap. Don't put this over that because you won't get the backing paper off it, okay? It's a mistake that I used to make fairly frequently, and it doesn't work. So let's just trim that off. How wide is this? sticky. This comes to, let's see where it comes to. Comes to there. And I don't want my double-sided sticking out, you see. I did on the other one. I had to use the ice and sugar trick. Oh, well, that's really helpful. Oh yeah, no, I can't see them just. So, just inside those lines that I've just made, stick this double-sided down. I cannot see that one. No, I can't see that one, so I'll trust myself that it's about there. Right. So let's trim these ends off so they're really, really flush. And Hilda bought me these beautiful scissors that are sort of Teflon, non-stick, whatever, and they cut through this double-sided tape beautifully. Because I used to always have the problem that it used to stick on your scissors and make your scissors all sticky, but that doesn't happen anymore. Does, however, still stick to your thumb. Right, so let's just take that off.
Sweet Pea says if she can just keep the bobbin thread from knotting up, she'll have it. But I would recommend a bobbin stand, wouldn't you?
I think people talk about bobbin as the underneath. Do you mean the underneath, Terry, or the top?
Because bobbin thread is certainly underneath.
Yeah. So let's just place that on there and carefully place it up the side. You don't get too many chances with double-sided. So take your time, and that looks grand to me. Right, let's trim off these ends. Don't throw your ends like this away, because they can go into the snippets box.
Sweet Pea says underneath.
Oh, underneath. Fair enough. Oh my goodness.
Probably needs a service. It's knotting up underneath.
Are you certain that you have threaded the bobbin thread correctly to the right tension? Because very often that's what's wrong. When I thread mine, every so often, and I have no idea why, it will thread a whole bobbin at the wrong tension. So I mustn't have gone through the tension disc or something like that, I don't know. But you just have to reel it all off, throw it in the bin and start again. Right, so I want some braid up here, like that. This is the one I put the braid on, but for this one I'm putting this on. And I quite like that. So what length do I need? I need it to about there. I'm nearly out of this ribbon, and I bought it from the range, and it was really cheap. It was in their, I think it was in their Christmas range. Christmas range at the range. But after the event, so they were selling off all sort of gold and silver ribbons. Brilliant. So I'm actually going to put the double-sided onto this because it's a bit narrow for me to guess at. Guess? We don't guess, we measure. Oh yeah. Seem to have a bit of double-sided tape where I don't really want it. Don't really know where that's come from. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, sewing machines, they really are alone to themselves. If you've got continuing problems with it, I really would take it for a service. You know, it's worth it rather than keep ruining things, or just being so frustrated that you don't use it. Right, so we'll stick this down the centre of there, hopefully. There we go. So that looks nice. We've layered that up and it looks nice. Trim the ends of that off. There we go. A little bit of that blue sticking up. Right, so what do we do next? Well, next is the exciting bit. You need a piece of paper, 5.5 by 3.5, and it's going to go there. Well, slightly further over that side. There, that's where it's going to go. And we are going to colour it ourselves. If you have a look at this one, it's coloured in the peacock feathers, just picked raspberry, and some sort of purple there. Actually, could you have a look in that second row down and see if there's a purple or a blue?
Ink.
Yeah, please.
Bluey, purpley.
Blue, purpley, that sort of coloury. I'm just going to use the other side of this paper because there's nothing wrong with it. It's too much like my the peacock feathers.
You like your peacock feathers?
It's too much like it.
Oh, too much like it. Well, that's peacock feathers. I've got that one. It's blue.
That's lovely, thank you. Right, so I have Salty Ocean, which I'm really not familiar with, peacock feathers and picked raspberry.
Shaded lilac.
And shaded lilac. We might not need all that, but we might. Oh, it's the lid. It's not, I don't think it's actually, I don't know. What colour is that?
It's definitely green.
Yeah, it's green. It's alright, I'm alright with what I've got anyway. Don't need too many. Starts to get messy. Right, so we're just going to start here. I'm all teal zeal. No, I'm all right, thanks. I'm fine with what I've got. So I'm just going to take some of this picked raspberry, which is a really old ink, and it's not juicy in any way, shape, or form. But I'm just going to start by coming it from the edge over into my piece of paper. You could print on this if you wanted to before you begin. I did that with the other one and it looked nice. Where's my teal one? This is peacock feathers and it's much more lively. But this is ink. This is not oxide that I'm using. You get a completely different finish if you use oxide. This is just ink. And we're just making our own coordinating papers. And I like doing this sort of thing. Find it pleasing. Oh, this one. Forgot about that. I just need to get a pad. So I'll take my teal off, put a new pad on and try this, what did I call it? Salty Ocean. These are old pads, so I'm not sure, you know, what state the colour's in or ink or anything. Oh, that's quite nice. We just want it nice and bright, but coordinating with the colours that we've used already. So I'll drop a little bit of that in, which will give us a purple. This is the thing about dyes. They're translucent. So I'm putting blue over pink. It's obviously going to give me purple because that's what they mix together to give you. If you're using oxide, they're opaque, so you wouldn't have that. But I don't know, I quite like it. And if you're using oxides as well, there's not much of this pink raspberry left. If you're using oxides as well, you can spray them with water and they oxidize and you get lots of different results happening and they're exciting. I haven't got any and I don't really care because I'm really happy using these. They're lovely. Just come up that side a little bit there, looks a bit. So there we are. We've made our own card to use for the pot. I can take the blue off, I think. I don't think I'll be using that again. And put the teal back on, peacock feathers back on. Oh my goodness. So many ink, so many lids, so many applicators, dear me. Right, lovely. So that's pretty dry. You know, it dries fairly quickly. So the next thing I want to show you is like a magic. It's silk screen. And it's a little one. Usually when you think of silk screens, you think of huge, great wooden edged screens made of silk with a pattern on them, and you put paint on the top and you squidgy it down and you're left with this very, very fine print. This is kind of like that, except it's, you know, it hasn't got a wooden frame or anything. And it's just very, very thin and fragile. But these are the patterns that you get. So there's this one, which is kind of like woodland. And then this one, this is the one that I want to use, which is this mandala. And where you see the purple is where it's clear. Where you see the white, that's where the paint's going to go through. It also comes with some other circles and patterns, etc. But it's that mandala that I'm after. And this pack comes with a squeegee and a gold and a silver paint. So I'm going to use the gold, obviously, because that's what I'm using. And this is by a company called Sculpey. They do all the sort of air-dried clay stuff. You know, that you mould something out of and pop it in the oven to dry or whatever, you know. One thing I would say about this is when you've finished with your silk screen, is put it in water straight away, because it's so delicate that it will just clog up and then it'll be no use to you again. So let's see if we can kind of centre that on the page with equal amounts coming out each side. That's about right there, that's about right there. Okay, maybe a little bit over that way. Yeah, I think we're right. I think that's it. Okay, so what you need to do is get some duct tape or something similar. Attach the screen. I knocked it there, but I don't think I've knocked it out. Just attach the screen to whatever you're doing, you know, board you're using, should I say, like so. And take your paint. I don't think this is a shaky one. Shake paint well before use. Okay, I'll give that to Mr. F. He's the paint shaker in the family. So these are really interesting. I'm not suggesting that you rush out and buy these, but should you come across them in a charity shop or whatever, which is where these came from, then don't be afraid of them. They give fabulous results and they're really just fun to work with. It's just something different. So as I say, these are Sculpey ones. Where's the name? How can I show it? There, Sculpey. But other people do them, I'm sure. So, you know, have a look on eBay every now and then, see if anybody's selling any. So this is the gold paint, and it's gold acrylic paint. And you just do, that's a bit too much there. You just put it across on your masking tape there. You can always go back and add more. So that's that there. Put the lid on that. Get your scraper, which could be a credit card. and just go from above where the paint is and drag it down like so. So it's kind of like icing a cake. So I need some more paint on there. But you are better off putting on less to start with. So just go from above and keep your scraper at about 45 degrees, something like that. Make sure it's really thin application. I've still got quite a bit on my scraper, I see, so let's try and get that down there. So you want it even and thin. I mean, if you're brave enough to put a load of paint on to start with, this is a very quick process. I just don't want to waste my paint.
Kerry always wants to know if there's a difference in using the stencil.
It's much, much finer. It's made of silk, hence the name silkscreen. And you'll see when I've finished here, I'll show you the detail that you get. I think that's about it.
Should look on the camera as off the thing, is it?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy with that. So I'm now going to remove this screen, and you'll see what we get. So I'll just undo that, remove the screen. Oh, the tape's decided to come off by itself. Where's the screen gone? Oh, of course that's the screen there. There we are. Look at that. Can I give those to you?
Yep.
Please. Oh, thanks very much. That's marvellous. Yeah, make sure that you get it into water pretty darn quick. Right, I'll hold this up for you, and you can have a look and see what you think.
I need to rip it.
If you want to, just dry my hand. So it's nice, isn't it? You know, it's a fabulous effect. Much, much finer than stencil. You just couldn't get that with a stencil. So I'm pleased with that. It looks lovely. And it was just good fortune, really, that that was in that pack, because it wasn't bought for that. It's just good fortune. I'm just going to give it the smallest of blasts. So you can see that the ink that we used for the background has really worked, I think, with this. I like it. I hope you do. Do you like it? I hope so. That acrylic paint won't take very long at all to dry. It's so thin, it's dry now, really. I'm just making double sure. Okay. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? I think so.
I think so too.
So this we are now going to stick onto there. That's going to brighten that up somewhat. And then we'll crack on from there. So let's, what shall I do here? I think I'm just going to use Aleene's all the way around it. Get a good bit of contact. I haven't used silkscreens for years, and I was really excited the other day when I did it, and I was determined that I was going to include it in the live, not because I expected to all rush out and buy silkscreens, but just so as you can see just how detailed that image is. I mean, of course you can use stencils, you know, that's what most everyone will do, I would imagine. But, so where does this go? Just so you could see what it does. So I've moved that in from the sewn edge about 1/8.
Nice and clean now, look.
Oh yeah.
You can see it better on there.
Yeah, that's the clean. That's it now, it's been cleaned, so you can see the detail on it now. And that looks lovely. What's everybody saying? Very intricate and definitely... Yes, Kerry, it is. It's like two different things completely. Miranda, very nice. She Marie, I love it. Love it. Very dainty looking. That's my fave glue. The Aleen's, yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Talking of favourite glues. Just talking about favourite glues. Mr. F, as you know, he does all the bookbinding side of things, and he likes to use a glue called Collall, this one, because it's really runny. And you know when you're using Fabri-Tac and you spread it out and it goes all bally on you because it dries before you get a chance to spread it. Well, this doesn't. It stays quite wet. So he's been using this and with great effect actually for binding the books. So he decided he was going to buy another one. So that's what he bought. Oh, come on. And it's got the, you know, it's like the same nose on the top. How are you supposed to... I don't know how you use it. But anyway, he seems pleased with himself. So that's the main thing.
Some people may think I'm overcompensating for something.
Yeah, they may. They may think that, but then again... Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this sort of eyelash trim. Once again, it's from the range. It was the same thing exactly. I bought it the same day as I bought this. It was in the Christmas bin with reduced things on it. Right, so I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac for this because it is fibre. And I'm just going to roll this Fabri-Tac right up to the edge of that bit of paper that we've just stuck down. Right up to it, but not over it. So it is a bead, you know, it's not masses. We're not floating a ship. And then get this and go right from that corner. And you can just feel it. You can just feel where it needs to go, that raised bit. So push it right in to there. But all you can see is my big fat head. There, so that's that. It's pushed right into that. You can just feel the lip where that bit that we stuck down. So that's where you want to put that. Make sure it's stuck down, and then you just do that around the whole shebang. You can use any trim you like. You know, this is just what I did, and I'm not saying it's the best solution at all. Just it was my solution because it was what I had on hand. So there you go again. Just push it up to that lip that you can feel, like so. It's not the smartest corner in the world. Stick another bit of glue on there. I'm not altogether happy with that corner. Just keep my finger on it for a sec. So I like this eyelash trim. You could use eyelash trim yarn. There's nothing stopping you. Just I don't have any gold. So there we go. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're not finding it dull and something you would never do. I mean, I don't know how many of you would contemplate making a boho journal, actually. Or are we just all about the shabby, or what? stick your hand up if you fancy doing a boho. Or if you've done one, in fact. If you've done one, you're watching me doing this thinking, what on earth? There we go, nearly there.
Lynn says we love it, and Jean says this is truly a work of art.
Oh, thank you, Jean.
And Shaz says yes, thumbs up.
Oh, thanks, Shaz.
Candy says enjoying it lots, but she's working on her LGB at the moment.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Get it finished because Christmas one is looming large.
And a couple of weeks' time.
If that. So get finished your existing LGBs, guys, and we'll see who wants to swap and who doesn't want to swap, etc. So I'm just chopping that off there. Could have chopped it off a little bit closer, I think. There we go. And just make sure it's stuck down. If it's not, you can come back later. And
Roz says she's not sure she'd make a BoHo journal, but she'd really enjoy watching you do one.
Thank you. Yeah, was it Jean that said it's a work of art?
Yeah.
It's definitely more arty. It's on the arty side rather than I'm going to have to take my cardio off. We put the fire on before we started because it was dark and miserable and raining and horrible. Now it's warmed up, that's good. Right, so on to the flowers, the pretty bit. So I'm going to bring this over here so give me a fighting chance. I really like this. I hope you like that and how we achieved it. It's just something else that you've got in your armoury that you can pull out if and when you need to. Right, where's Nancy's squares? Here we are. So you need a bit of, these are called Stick It 3D foam adhesives, and they're just little squares, and you can see I've been at them already. I've used a whole row and one, so this is going to keep me going for quite some time. There are some thank yous that I need to say. I need to say thank you to Carrie. Thank you very much. I need to say thank you to Miranda. I need to say thank you to Shaz. To Carol, of course. That may be it. If I missed you out, I'll catch you tomorrow because my pile of thank you list is not here. So if I've missed you out, I'm really, really sorry. Don't think I don't appreciate it because whatever you've sent me is... I'm very grateful to you all. Right, so let's use this. This paper only came this morning. Well, I call it paper. It's that squidgy foam stuff, you know. So that's going to go there. And I'm going to use this as the topper. Remember I showed you the ribbon that was on. So I'm going to use that as the topper there. So we're getting more and more jazzy as we go along. Yeah, show them the paper. This leaf here.
I thought as much.
She thought as much what? What did she think?
What were you thinking, Siri?
Did you hear Siri come on and say I thought as much? She thought as much what?
That's the foam. The glittery stuff.
It cuts really nicely in the Big Shot, doesn't it?
It does.
I say that, I don't cut them. Mr. F is the cutterer. So down here we have a smaller flower, is that the one? Yeah, down in this corner. Now you see, I like this because it balances. I think the people who do the true boho business, they're not about the balance. I have to be, otherwise it just drives me bonkers. I can't deal with it. So that goes, I think I've got the leaves. I thought as much. What's Siri on about?
She's preparing herself for later.
For the
Draw.
Yeah.
Do we trust her?
Do we trust her? She started acting up already. Right, so that's going to get stuck down like that with a little pearl thing on top to match this little pearl thing here. So let's remove that because it's just... So what do you think of that, guys? Do you think we're okay? It's hard for me to see because it's so shiny. I'm going to stick them though. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac and I'm going to leave them in place to give me a chance of getting them in the right place. The leaves in the right place at least. This gold card that I've used was from Budley Crafts here in the UK. It's kind of like a school provisions, whatever you call it, school supplies shop, and so their things are never really that expensive, which is good.
Oh, you're thinking of Baker Ross?
I'm thinking of Baker Ross, yes, sorry. But Budley's also good, aren't they?
Yes, but that's more a proper adult crafty.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the shop I was thinking of is called Baker Ross, and they do this stuff for kids, for school and whatever. But it's always worth looking there because they often have a card at really good prices, coloured card, and this metallic card I'm sure I got from there was really inexpensive. Sorry I can't help you in America, guys. But if anybody knows of anywhere like that, please, post it. We'd be delighted. So then the big floppy blue flower. And I'm going to give this plenty of glue because it's that foam stuff and I don't know how much it absorbs. Actually, just thinking about it, is that all going to go level? I think so. Yeah, I think we're all right there. Right, so let's just press that down. Once I've stuck this on, I'll show you just how blingy this is, and I really need my sunnies on. That's the truth. So, although probably nobody's actually ever going to make this, you might get some good ideas out of it for other things that you could make. You could make a trifold in any style and still incorporate this sort of thing in it. I just want to show you how shiny this is, if I can. It's just not doing it. I mean, it's just ridiculously shiny. There you go. It's really blingy. So right, let's have a look then. This is going to go down there. This is going to go there. So I think I'm going to need some of Nancy's dimensional stuff because it's not sitting flush because of this cord. So that needs dimensional, that needs dimensional. I'm just folding them back. That one does. And writing on them because I'll never remember otherwise. Dimensional. Right, okay. That's fine. So I'm going to stick this leaf on. Tomorrow we'll do the journal for the little, well, it's not little, the pocket at the back, and then it will be finished. But today, after we finished here, we've got a really exciting thing happening. During the course of this year, we asked people who are members of our Facebook group, the Miss Paintalot's Junk Journal group, if they would send in a four-sided folded A4 contribution. I wish I hadn't put that on now because I need to put these on. To a collaborative journal. And if they sent them in, Mr. F would make it into a journal, and when it was all finished, we'd have a draw, and whoever wins it gets to keep it. And 24 of you, 24, joined in and sent us the pieces of your artwork that you'd done. And we had a look at those on a YouTube video. And, you know, you all agree, I mean, you were all blown away, I think, just how good people are. Just really talented people. So in the interim, from then till now, Mr. F has collated them, well, we collated them together, and Mr. F has bound it into a journal. So let me just think about this. That and that need to go there, and the other two need to be dimensional. That's it.
Mabel's saying that you can eat the foam up and manipulate it.
Wow.
And it stays where it's put.
Oh, does it? How nice.
Obviously not for the inside of a journal, but...
Oh no, I've stuck it in the wrong place. I've stuck it in the wrong place. This is what you get for chattering. Chattering. Right, let's have another go at that. Good job, the Fabri-Tac was nearly dry, wasn't it? Yeah, it goes dimensional if you warm it up.
Well, you can
mould it,
bend it, and it stays bent.
Goes mouldable.
You can lift the petals up.
Right.
Make it more 3D.
That'd be fabulous for a journal cover, Mabel. Fabulous indeed. Right, I'm just going to put a bit of Fabri-Tac on these things because they've been stuck and unstuck and whatever.
Lynn's saying, has any other channel done something like a collaborative journal? Not to the best of my knowledge.
Right, so I think that's going to go there. That's not right either, but never mind. That is not perfect. I should have put one in the middle as well.
Isn't that where the gold one's going?
Yeah, it is, but it's just a bit saggy there. Anyway, I will put one in the middle of there, which should compensate for that.
You're putting a pearl in the middle, are you?
Yeah.
Have you got the pearls out?
Yeah.
You are organised today?
I know. Well, I tried to be, but I'm not sure it's working. It's just so much to do. It's very...
Labour intensive.
Yeah, and thought intensive.
Ooh.
I mean, this isn't so bad because I've already done one, so I should know what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. Right, so there's glue everywhere there, and there's a dimensional little fella in the middle to try and offset the fact that I forgot to put one on the blue. So there we are, that's fine. We've salvaged the situation. And it needs a little pearl on it, which are these cheap ones. Cheapy cheap, but do the job. And I never depend on the glue, so just put a little drop there. Got glue strings now. And just drop that into the middle. Could put a gem if you want, whatever. I'm using a pearl because it matches with the pearl in the centre of that one. I think I'm just going to have to leave that to dry. It doesn't like pressure. Who does like pressure? I don't like pressure. Pressurised. Right, okay, so we're not doing too badly. What time have we got? I can't see the clock. 3:19? Mr. F's not talking to me.
What?
So what time is it?
3:19.
Excellent. Right, so we're going to make a pocket for this. And you could make it the same as that, but just for the sake of alive, I want to show you a different way. But I'm still using the same, this is the same background that we made. Same shiny sprayed background. So which bit do I want to use? This bit's probably the brightest. So I want the pocket to be, you know, enough so you can see it. So about there, that sort of depth. And I just want to measure in about 1/2 inch. That's where I want the edge of my pocket to be, and that's where I want the edge of this one to be. So let's just, this is the edge of the pocket, but I want to just make a little gusset, so I'm just going to cut it off sort of half an inch extra. Get you, I can't even remember what you call this. I can't even remember what it's called. It's a board. It's a, oh dear. It's a board of some description. Folding board. I don't know. Right, so try and get that straight there. There we go. Where's that straight now? Yeah, it should be more or less. So they just get folded in. They should be about the right size, but we'll check it before we commit. Right, so let's have a look then. Is this the right size? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So let's just check that we've got the top and the bottom square. So line that up with the side of your fold there, and that's not square at all. And because I'm doing this on a glass board, I'm going to use a scalpel because it blunts my rotary cutter too much. So I'm just cutting along there with a scalpel. And now I can use that as the measurement for the top. So line it up there, line it up along the edge, and it's got to be straight. You can use your paper cutter, or whatever method you use to cut paper. Right then, so I'm just going to cut down away from there because you can see it like that. You can see it from the top if you don't, and it doesn't look nice. Right, so that's going to be our pocket there. So let's ink around that. Quite heavy inking for this project I'm doing actually, because I really want the teal to show, the peacock feathers. Everybody with me? Everybody enjoying it? It's a good, fun, messy one today. It's like Blue Peter. Right, so on this pocket, I want to... Here we used a silk screen, so you've seen that. You've seen just how fine an image that leaves you with. I mean, it's phenomenal. But on this one, we're going to use a stencil. It's perfectly fine. You can mix and match all you like. So this is the stencil that we're going to use. And it's a big mandala, way too big really for this project, but it's kind of all I had. So I'm just going to line that up fairly centrally with my pocket. I'm just going to use the stencil to help guide me with where the center is. So just over a little touch. I think that's not too bad there. And I'm going to use a thing, I don't know, well, you will have seen me use it before if you've been following me for a while. It's one of my very favourite products. It's called Metallic Gilding Polish by Cosmic Shimmer. It's really gorgeous. You could eat it. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. But it's beautiful stuff. Right, let's hope that that's still in the centre after all that. Well, you know, it's not far out.
I'll put them in your smaller stencil.
Yeah, I know, but it's all right. I think that's fine, to be honest. Is it? Yeah, let's go with that. I'll go with that. So this is the stuff. Look at it. It's beautiful. So you get it comes with its own little applicator in the lid, and you get the stuff, you dip your applicator in, and then you squidge it off on the side like that. Do it a couple of times so you've got a fairly even coating, and then you just stencil it. And I know there's loads of pastes and texture pastes and shiny pastes for this, that and the other, but for this sort of thing, paper crafting, this is excellent. And a little does go a long way, but you can make it thick if you want to. You can, you know, you can ladle it on, have it as thick as you want. But I think my stencil's moved, so I'm going to call it a day at that. But there you go. I mean, look at that. And that was the smallest amount on there. And it's so beautiful. So can I give that to you, please, and just dunk it in the water? And just wash your applicator out with soap and water, let it dry, and you're ready to go again. So pop that over to one side. So here's our pocket. It's really nice, isn't it? And I know that is a particularly chunky design, but you know, you can see the difference between stencils and screen printing. It's, you know, there's a world of difference. So I'm just going to give that a quick blast. Can you just take my head off a sec, please? Okay, right, we're sorted. So it really doesn't take very long to dry at all. And even if you put a fairly thick application on, it does dry fairly quickly. So let's attach this pocket to where it's going, obviously. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. I haven't put a gusset in the in the bottom, because it doesn't need it. It's only going to have one tag in it, and it doesn't need a gusset all the way around. It's just going to be adding bulk to our little trifold for now. So we're getting through techniques today. We're looking at techniques, some of which I'm sure you can envisage using on your projects with different colours and, you know, different stencils, different whatever, you know, to make it into something that you like. So that just fits on there, just dandy. So just make sure that's squished down. And look, I mean, I'm using my bone folder over it now, and it's not budging. It's a brilliant product. It comes in loads of different colours. So there we go. That's that. Now then, the tag that goes in it, you have seen me make before. I've seen me make it before, but I don't know where it is. Ah, here it is. These ones, you might remember I did a big base plate, a baseboard with it, chopped them up and put stencils and glitter and hot foil and all sorts of things on them. So this is the perfect place to use that. So that just pops into there. And I quite like that. The other one and the other one's shorter and sits down into it. So you can't see that, but I quite like the idea that you can see that actually, so I'm leaving that as is. And we just want to put this corresponding flower on there, which is this one, and a gold one, and 2 blue leaves. Right, okay. It's just so difficult for me to see because everything is like ultra blingy. But, you know, I shall struggle on. Right, so let's say that's where we want the leaves. Okay, let's do that then. Leaves, first one. I mean, you can get some quite soft colours of this puffy, mouldable, glittery foam. You know, you probably could use in a shabby chic journal.
Yeah, Candy says if you spritz the top of the cosmic shimmer, it saves it drying out.
All right, I've never had that problem, but that's a good tip. Yeah, really good tip. Thank you. Yeah, I could see that it might be prone to drying out if you left it for a while. I've got glue all over my hands and everything. I need to have a good wash before I do the collaborative journal one, because I don't want any dirt on there. Right, so this is going to go there. Okay, lovely jubbly. Right, so which ones, where do I need to put the, I've got glue everywhere. Which ones do I need to put my dimensional ones on? Right. Oh, for heaven's sake. Just go away, get the impression we don't want you. That one and that one. Dimension. There. Those two are already up. So these two. Dimension, and the middle. Okay. I'm sure there are easier ways than that to do it. It just works for me because I can't remember. Once I get it turned upside down, I haven't got a clue where I thought I needed them. So these little squares are just brilliant. I'm sure that a lot of you who used to make cards, etc., little scrapbooks, that sort of thing, you have encountered these many moons ago, but I hadn't. So they're new and exciting for me.
Miranda says she bets Jen's loving all the bling.
Is Jen here today? I haven't heard you mention Jen. Oh no, she's doing a book sale, like a county book sale. Her and Mike. Oh, she would pick today when it's all blingy. They might watch it back, you never know. Probably so exhausted to just fall over into a chair. So I am putting Fabri-Tac on top of these dimensional things because I'm just like that. Right, so those two go on top of the thing. These are dimensional. Yes, it's all coming together rather well, says she, with a surprised air. Oh dear, and that's just going to stick on there. It doesn't need any dimension because I've actually remembered the middle bit this time.
Jean says thank you for all the efforts of getting all this ready.
Oh, Jean, thank you so much, my dear. I can't deny it. It's a heck of an effort. And what you see, you know, the time that you see me doing the live is honestly, a fraction of the time it takes to do all this, as I'm sure you know. But, you know, we do it because we love it, don't we? And because we love the friendships that we've got. Right, so I just need a little pearl on top of there. It's a good job that we only aimed for the trifold today, although I might not get the last bit done, but I'll show you what it is, and it's not ridiculously difficult or anything. Bit of Fabri-Tac, bit of pearl. Don't want that moving around really, so I'll just press it down gently. Right, okay, so I think that's that tag finished. I'm liking this blue. I like the blue, possibly better than the pink, I think. Maybe. I've got glue strings on here. I don't usually get that with Fabri-Tac. Right, there we go. So that goes into this pocket and looks $1,000,000. Right then, so we're on to this page. Right, I haven't prepared this page because I didn't actually foresee us getting to this page. Well, I have got the journaling card that goes in it. But basically all it is a tummy tuck, or, you know, if you're new to this group, that's what we call belly bands, guys, because we think belly band is just a bit on the crass side of life. What did I do with that paper that I had? Here we go. Right, so I'm going to use a bit of the same stuff as this because it doesn't really matter. You don't actually see that much of it. And I want it to go from the stitching to the stitching. I don't want it to go all the way down. I like it just to go to the stitching. So, I don't know what I'm folding that up for. So I'm just going to cut a bit off wherever I made my mark. Was that my mark there? I'm going to have to go at some stage because I've got to get ready, get cleaned up for the collaborative journal, because it's not coming onto this, I can tell you. Everybody's hard work getting dirtied up. Oh no. Right, and I want it to be about 1 3/4 inches. And take it off that. Oh no, that's got gold on. I'll take it off here. So 1 3/4 inches all the way down, lined up at the bottom, line it up down the sides. Chop that off. Oh, I've hit something. Something on my board, I think. There we go. So here's our tummy tuck band, and all I did was put some more of this up to centre. So this time I'm going to put it actually on here. I think is the best way of doing that. This ribbon was really cheap. It says it's 2 meters. I can't remember where I got it from, but it was really, really cheap. It might have been Hobbycraft, and it is horrible. It's horrible to touch, but it does such a good job for us in this. So I'm just going to put this down the edge with my little wheel of double-sided. Oh, there they are. And down to the side. See, this is where I think if you were really, you know, boho spirited, you could probably jazz this up a whole lot more than I'm doing, because I'm just doing the same techniques I normally do, but just in a boho kind of manner, using boho colours. I've seen other people's and they don't look like this. Right, so we want this up the middle if we can possibly manage it. So let's have a good look at that. I think that's about the middle. Middle for diddle. Yeah, don't think we're far off at that. Chop these end off. It's been fun though doing this, hasn't it, Mr. F?
Yes.
Fun spraying and messing and
Oh, yeah.
clotting round. Right. I hope that's straight. So what I'm going to do is use some more of this eyelash trim and apply it in exactly the same way. So I'm using this as the ridge now. So put your Fabri-Tac or whatever you're using right up against the ridge of the ribbon, right in that sort of corner. Just adds a bit of interest. So just put it down and push it up to where you can feel it naturally stop. Up against that ribbon there. Or trim, it's not really a ribbon, is it? Trim. Just cut that off. Same on the other side. I've been sitting for just too long now. I'm just trying to get this finished. There's not much more to do, but I don't want to disappoint you if you want to see this finished. You probably don't care, to be honest.
I think that's going to become one of your sayings. Push it up till it naturally stops.
Oh no, I've run out of thingy. Oh, that's no good. What am I going to use now? Well, I could use this on the other side, couldn't I? What's wrong with that?
A bit wide. Do you want to cut it straight down the middle?
No, I don't, because it's woven.
Oh,
I could put that down there. I could put that down there and trim that off, couldn't I? I'm going to leave that, guys, and think about that. I don't want to just put something on for the sake of putting it on when it isn't right. Look at that. How disappointing. How disappointing. Yeah, we've got this very fine gold. Yeah, this is nice. I like this. This is good.
that was a quick find.
It was a quick find. I'm just going to put a little bit more of this on, just because I think it's probably dried out a bit. I can't find the end, so we'll go for the middle. Don't think it's got a right and a wrong side. I can't see it in a minute, I'm sorry. Was it?
It's a little bit different.
Oh yeah, no, I like this that you've unearthed for me, thank you. It was so quick, you can't believe it's right, can you?
No.
Oh, that's all right. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's no point worrying about it. We can only do what we can do. So trim the ends off. There we go. I don't know why I've been keeping that actually anyway, so that's fine. That looks fine to me. And where's our... Here. So this is going to get stuck onto here, like so, and it looks perfectly fine. I just want this to be square actually, so I'm going to put that, if that was at 1.5 inches, would that be square? What does that leave on the other side? 1.5 inches is where I need this. Just so I can glue it square, that's all, because nothing looks worse than a twisted tummy tuck. It just doesn't look good.
No.
Right, so I know what I'm putting in. It's a journaling card that's not going to take up all of the space, so I'm going to allow myself the luxury of quite a bit of glue at the bottom of here, just to tighten up the space where the journaling card's going to go. Otherwise, it'll just keep dropping out and it'll just annoy us. I like that better that way. Just where your stitching is, use the ruler to butt up to. What did you say my saying was going to be? Feel the edge? What was it? Butt up to the edge?
I can't remember what you said now.
Right.
Keep pushing till you feel it against the edge or something, was it?
Anyway, look what we have achieved. So all we really need now is a butterfly on there. And I'm not so sure I've got a butterfly that is the right colour. These are really humongous butterflies. They're kind of nice though. This is the journal card. I've inked around it, sewn around it. It's out of that pad that I showed you before. So that's just going to fit into there. So that's fairly straightforward. So we just need a butterfly on here. And the question is, which one? This one is nice and bluey. I quite like that one actually. This one hasn't had anything done to it. It's just cut out of pattern paper. Doesn't stand out enough. I think our choice is probably, unless I cut some more out and embellish some more, emboss. What do you call it? Yeah, emboss some more. Or that one or that one. I think this one might be quite nice if I inked around it. So I'm going to ink around that and see if that floats my boat. This is a Sizzix Biggs die. Possibly one of my favourites ever. I mean, they're just gigantic, ridiculously large butterflies. Which I love. So I'm going to ink around it with this turquoise, what do you call it? Peacock feathers. Just see if I can get it to stand out on the page against the tummy tuck. And I have embossed it with like a tealy sort of colour and gold. So it's got some design on it. And it was on pattern paper to start with.
Jean says her husband is hovering round. We have errands.
Oh, Jean, you're not going to be around to see the collaborative journal draw?
Catch it after.
Yeah, you'll have to catch it after. Oh, well, enjoy your errands. That's fine. And good luck in the journal. See you tomorrow. Right, let's have a look then what that looks like. I don't know. What do you think, Mister? Does it need a bit more colour on it or what? I think that's all right, you know. Quite like that. What do you think? He's got. Usually I can look up and see the screen, but he's doing something else.
There we go. Yeah, that looks good.
I don't know if it's too turquoise and would look better if it was gold. Yeah, I think so, because we've got a lot of gold here.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know whether to do around the edges in teal or not.
You'll make it quick.
What time is it?
10 to 4 nearly.
Oh my goodness me. This isn't accepting the colour very well, the ink very well, because it's been embossed within an inch of its life, so I'm going to have to leave that. So no, I'm going to attach that to there. And I am only going to attach it down its body and a little bit either side. Right down its body and a little bit down either side.
Bye to Jean.
Bye, Jean. Good luck with the draw. Right, so let's get that bit stuck down there. And I can come in later with, you get a body with these actually that cuts out separately. I could do all sorts of things, but you get a body that cuts out separately, but I have actually lost my body, having an out-of-body experience. I saw it earlier, but he's gone again. So I'm sorry, guys. You just have to wait for me to put that on independently. So anyway, I've seen them on the floor actually. Yeah, I've got some of those in turquoise, haven't I? That might be an idea. Right, so let's just get this cleared off a wee bit so you can see what I've done. There's our original. Here's our, well, I'd say new and improved, but, you know, to be honest, it's pretty similar. Pretty similar. I don't know where his body is, but I'll show you it anyway when it's finished. So that all folds up like that. It goes into our journal thing. That goes into the journal. Oops. And, you know, that looks nice there because you can see that. And I should have done it the other way around, but I didn't. And that goes in there. So there we are. What do you think? What do you reckon? I quite like them myself. Folds up like so. And we're going to have a little journal in the back there. And then some gold ribbon to tie it shut. So, oh yes, that's nice. Let's open it up, see what's inside. Ooh, that's what's inside. So, I know you're not getting the full impression of this real blinking bling fest that's going on here. But right, I've got to love you and leave you in this, guys. But I shall be back at 4 o'clock, 9 minutes, when we will be having a look at and drawing the winner of our collaborative journal. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. You've been troopers today. You really have. We've got a lot done, I think. We've achieved a lot. It's really pretty. So I'll see you at 4 o'clock. Don't be late, because it could be you. Bye.
Bye.